my God, so beloved. Just real quick, right? Real quick, in and out, in and out. So, okay, so you know the type of person, right? Now, because I'm gonna describe my ex right now, okay? Because this is gonna be attributed to. Okay, how do I say this? Okay, remember the movie Malibu's Most Wanted? Okay, remember that movie with what is it? Jamie Kennedy, right? Um, So remember the guy who grew up in Malibu, right? His parents were rich, but he wanted to be from the hood, right? He wanted to be a thug. He wanted to be a G, right? Right? But he didn't come from that background, right? Uh, and this is what, right, me and some others of you have dealt with when it comes to somebody that has come against us, right? Their parent, right, may have been from the streets, right? May have grown up with the shit end of the stick, right? But they didn't, right? They didn't. They were very sheltered, right? They grew up in a two-story house in a gated community, probably, right? Um, but all their life they wanted to be, from Suwoo or some type of Crip gang or some MS-13. You know what I'm saying? Those of you who know what that is, you know, right? I don't want to go down explaining it. For those who don't, you don't need to, right? Uh, but we've got a case of somebody thinking that they're a thug. Somebody thinking that they're basically down. Okay, this is what they would call it, right? Thinking that they're down, right? Meaning a G, right? Meaning it's not on you, it's in you, right? This person had this false identity, false sense of self, thinking that because they wanted to be this way, that they were this type of person, right? That they were a thug, a G, whatever you want to call it, right? So they tried to come at you, right? As if you were the ignorant one, as if you were the one who grew up in a gated community, as if you were basically ignorant, right? This is the delusion and the illusions that the narcissist lives in. Not just narcissists, but toxic people, period, right? But more than so, narcissistic people, right? Because they take it to a whole nother level, right? When you actually sit down and you think about it, you're like, how did you come to that conclusion? How? Like, what brought you there, right? So they deemed you not to have street smarts. They deemed you to be very naive, right? Um, they deemed you to be overly nice, overly loving, right? Kind, whatever, right? And they thought that they were the one that grew up in the hood. They thought that they were the one that was down. They thought they were the one who grew up in neighborhoods with gunshots and sirens 24/7 and you got to put a stick in between your window because somebody might climb through that said window in the middle of the night trying to do God knows what. Do you get what I'm saying? Those of you who grown up in the hood like I have, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Got that stick in the window, right? Keep that window shut just in case somebody will try to climb through your window while you sleep, right? This person, not even knowing you, not even knowing that those sides of you, beloved, because of how well you talk, right? How well you speak, excuse me, right? Because of um, your demeanor, right? Because of your kind heart, not knowing you grew up in the trenches of the trenches, not knowing there were times when you were growing up where you didn't have no lights. There were times when you were growing up where you had to make grilled cheese sandwiches with an iron. There were times when you were growing up that your mama was putting cable bills and phone bills in your name, so that when you became of age, your credit was already. You get what I'm saying? Who they thought they were, you are. You are who they thought they were. You have been the whole time. So imagine somebody from Malibu, okay, trying to come down to South Central to try to tell the one that grew up in South Central that he ain't this and he ain't that. How foolish. 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 How foolish. And how idiotic. 5:55 is on the timer. So this person's finding out, and some people are finding out how, and I'm just going to use the word because it applies, how dumb, I just heard that ding, confirmation, how dumb they really are. How dumb they really are. Okay? They realize now that you are absolutely street smart. You are every type of smart that they could even imagine, beloved. Right? They saw you one way, right? See, this is how a toxic person will lie to themselves, and they believe their own lie. They thought you to be one way, right? And they took that as solidified truth when it was never the truth. You are not as another person sees you. You are who you are, not how another person sees you. That is called assuming an assumption. Right? These people assumed that you were one way. They assumed that you would do this or you wouldn't do that. They assumed everything they took forward action and movement in. And they fell flat on their faces with every single thing that they assumed about you. I remember distinctly telling said people, stop assuming. Do not assume. Why? Because you make a what? An ass out of you, right? And that's exactly what they kept on doing. And now they're sitting there thinking, I assumed. I lied to myself and I assumed something to be true that was never true. And now I look stupid. I was looking for a bell. I had a bell around. I was about to ring it, okay? I was about to ring it. I threw that bell away. But you get what I'm saying? But I just had to bring that to you, beloved. I had to bring it to you. I got that real quick, and I'm like, be rad, right? That was the dude's name in Malibu's Most Wanted. Be rad. I was like, be rad. I was like, oh, I got it. Play, all right? But I love you guys, beloved. I'll holler at y'all later, man. Have a good day. Have a blessed day. I love you guys. And even more importantly, God loves you guys. All right? All right. Later. Peace.